Hello everyone, welcome back to Stewart. Today in this tutorial, we are going to talk about the handling radio buttons in Selenium. Radio buttons are common in form where only one option can be selected at a time. In this tutorial, we are going to verify if it is selected using its selected method. So let's begin. In previous tutorial, I have explained about the enabled method is enable method. So let's begin. As you can view here, we can select at a time one radio button. Either we can click on radio button 1 or radio button 2. After clicking on this radio button, we need to verify whether this is radio button is selected or not. So let's begin. Create a new Python file here, Python project, right click new, and then click on Python file. Enter the file name radio underscore button and Python file. Now we need to import the WebDriver and then initialize the URL in which we want to go. So copy and then enter the URL here. Copy this URL and paste URL here. Next thing here we need to go. We need to locate this element. If suppose you want to click on this radio button 1, so right click on this radio button, inspect, and then copy this ID here. ID and name both are available. Copy this ID. First thing we need to do here, we need to check whether this radio button 1 is selected or not. So first we will print here print driver dot find element by port ID, the ID value here, and then we need to verify whether this is selected or not. So use here is selected this line for verifying whether this radio button 1 is selected or not. Let's add some weight here. After navigating to URL, enter 2 seconds here, and then after print is selected, basically return the boolean value which is true or false. If this radio button is not selected, then false will be printed in a console. If this radio button is selected, then boolean value will be true. Add some weight here, time dot slip 2 seconds. After verifying whether this radio button is selected or not, which is radio button 1, and then click on this radio button. Simply use driver dot find element by ID, and ID here available, which is radio button 1, and paste here, and then click on this radio button. After this clicking on this radio button, add some weight here, time dot slip 2 seconds. After clicking on this radio button, we need to verify whether this radio button is selected or not. So here use same line, print driver dot find element by ID dot is selected, and then add weight here, time dot slip 2 seconds. Let's run this script. First it will navigate to this URL and then verify whether this radio button 1 is selected or not. Then it will print the value false in a console, and then click on this radio button, and next here the true will be printed in a console because this radio button 1 is selected. Right click and then click on Run Radio button. First navigate to this URL. Here you can view the radio button 1 by default is selected. It click on radio button 1. Here two boolean value is printed. One is false because first time radio button 1 is disabled. After clicking on this, and it return the true value. Let's now click on this second radio button. Click on this radio button, inspect, and here ID available, which is radio button 2 driver dot find element by dot ID. Enter ID here and then click. Next, we need to verify whether this radio button 2 is selected or not. So we will use here print and then enter driver dot find element here inside this round bracket driver dot find element by dot ID and enter ID here, and then we need to verify this radio button is selected or not. Same, we will use this line for verifying this radio button is not selected because in this scenario the radio button 2 is selected. Let's add some word here, time dot select 2 sec. Now on this script, first navigate to URL. First click on the radio button 1 and then click on radio button 2 and print in a console. Here first radio button 1 is not selected, so it return the value of false. In the next we click on the radio button 1, so here it return the true value. In the third scenario, we click on the radio button 2. So radio button 2 is selected, so it return the true, and for radio button 1 it return false. The is selected method in Selenium is used to check whether a radio button checkbox or any other selectable element is currently selected. This method return a boolean value true if the element is selected and false if it is not selected. It's especially useful when you want to validate user inputs or verify that the correct option has been chosen during automation testing. That it's for today's tutorial on radio button and is selected method in Selenium. I hope this video helpful for you for handling radio buttons in your automation. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to SK1 for more automation tips and tutorials.